27,000 horsepower. Flying down the quarter mile in less than 5 seconds. Scorching speeds in excess of 500 kilometres per hour. A sound and light spectacle that will rearrange your insides. Top Fuel has always been drag racing's ultimate. Explosive, landlocked missiles that leave drivers and spectators breathless with each and every one of their earth-shattering passes. These Nitro rocket ships are set to go faster and quicker than ever before at Western Sydney International Dragway on December 26 and 27, and then at Queensland's Willowbank Raceway on January 6 and 7. Why will they go faster than ever before? Well, Aussie come NHRA Top Fuel superstar Dave Grubnic is set to return and burn down Australia's best quarter miles for the first time ever. In his car, and with the enormous resources of Team Kalitta Racing behind him at his disposal, and fresh from becoming the first non-American to win a round of the NHRA in the USA in 2005, the world's richest and greatest drag racing tournament, David Grubnic has made it clear he is not coming down under to simply produce some exhibition passes. He wants to leave an impression that will stand the test of time in Australian drag racing folklore.
In the back of your mind, you do think that, man, I'd like to go back to Australia with this team, with one of these cars, and race down there. Last year I even thought that. Last year I'd joke around with Connie or whatever, and it's sort of like, you know, it'd be fun if we could go down there and you know, at least do one show or one race and just hang out and, you know, and enjoy it and then get into that side of it. And then as it turned out this year with Jim Reed and the opportunity that was presented to us, it's happening. And it is a dream come true. It's sort of like all my friends, my family, the fans, the enormous amount of Australian fans that I see that come to the races here in the States. To be able to go back there and, you know, race in my home country with the team, with Team Kalitta is, man, I'm telling you, that is a dream come true. My understanding Australia, or drag racing in Australia, is very popular. And if you look at the number of competitors or fans or so forth versus the population down there as a percentage, it's probably right on par or possibly even higher than what it is in the United States. I drag race in Australia. I started out 16 years old. For those that will remember Surfers Paradise International Raceway, I always used to go down there. I had a street car and I'd race it down there. I'd go down and watch the Nitro cars was always the biggest thrill for me. And to go down there and watch them, and then, you know, that's where it started. And then I ended up working on some Top Fuel cars down there and getting involved in the sport and so forth, but ultimately I wanted to drive. Now, I could have stayed in Australia and worked my way up and so forth, but it's very difficult and very expensive to race Top Fuel in Australia. But ultimately, even if I did, I'd still want to go to the States, represent Australia, and race the best in the world. So I just committed to going straight to the States and doing what I could to try and make it in the sport over here. And so it was kind of like the top-bottom approach, but it was a gamble. I took the risk, and it's paying off. It's paying dividends right now. We had been to 7 final rounds. In 2004, I believe I went to 5 final rounds. And each final round we'd go there, and I believed we had a chance to win. And we'd get up there, and each race was pretty close. And a lot of the times it was Tony Schumacher and I were racing, and they were neck-and-neck races to where you wouldn't see the other car or anything like that, and you'd get down to 1,000 feet and you think, this is it, I'm going to win. And you go through the finish line and you don't see the win line, and you just get beat. And this goes on and on and on. And sometimes you start wondering if you'll ever break through. But that day at Topeka, Kansas, I remember going down the racetrack. I never saw Larry Dixon. I went through the finish line. I saw that win light come on. It was a huge relief. It was like driving through a brick wall and then just watching all the bricks just fly apart. Fantastic day. Very proud day. It was great. It is very hard to describe what it's like to drive one of those cars, but it's instantaneous. That's the first thing that you notice. It's like as soon as you step on the gas, whatever in front of you is gone. And then the real ride starts at about 1.3 seconds when the rear wing works, the tyres grab a hold of the racetrack, the power on the clutch come in, and then it really just starts to accelerate. And it's like 5.5 Gs, sometimes approaching 6, but it's a hell of a ride, but believe me, it's very hard to explain in words. You know, we do this every other weekend. We expect the car to run quick. We expect to run a low 450 or even a high 440 in the, you know, high 320s. So that's what we expect. So it's really, you don't put any focus on the actual the acceleration of the car and so forth. It's your job to make sure the car accelerates that quick, which, as I said, keeping it in the groove and making sure you keep the car where it's supposed to be on the racetrack. And that's where we put all our focus. And, you know, our off season's pretty short, and sometimes we'll go out there for, like, we won't drive for 2 months or whatever, and we'll start testing there in early January. But every time I get back in the car for the first time, yeah, your body has to get back up to speed. So, and it takes a few runs, but then, you know, ultimately you get back to where you were. But also the other side of that is too, you really never stop. The cars, the way they accelerate and the way the sport's going, you know, we're always trying to keep up with it. So it's not like you get to a happy medium and everything's fine. You've always got to stay up with the car, so you're always trying to improve yourself. It's Connie, but not only Connie, I have Shirley Muldowney that's also part of my team. So I've got both legends that are involved with my team, our sponsor and everybody, and it's an amazing thing. Like, I remember years ago watching Heart Like a Wheel in Australia and watching that movie and just dreaming of those things, and lo and behold, here they are, and they're both on my team, and they you know, they both back us. It's fantastic. You know, my whole career over here has pretty much been struggling, trying to survive and so forth. And 2 years ago, when Connie picked me to drive his car for him, was a 180-degree turnaround in my whole career. And it's showing it with the results we've produced with our car. And now that we have Strivectin on board as full-time corporate sponsor, multi-year deals, bet your ass I'm pinching myself. No, you can't buy it, and you know, it's hard to even dream that. You know, when you sit back and wonder, what would you like to achieve, or what would you like to do in drag racing? And to have this come to fruition like it did was just, as I said before, I'm still pinching myself, but I'm loving every minute of it. It's a fantastic team and a fantastic group of people. The 2005 season was good. We were happy with it. We weren't ecstatic with it. Our goal is to go out and win the championship. We improved from our 2004 season, where we finished 5th in the points. This year we gained a position, we finished 4th. But ultimately, this team wants the championship. We want it for Connie, we want it for our sponsor Strivectin, and we want it for all our guys. So yes, we are happy. Are we satisfied? No. We want the championship, and that will be our goal next year. Well, you know, dedication, that's definitely a very, very important ingredient. And there's been plenty of times, and believe me, where I've sat down over the course of the past 15 years and justified to myself and wondered how I'd keep going. And you just have to dig down deep and do it. And then, you know, it's a difficult subject to talk about, but it does take a lot. And you always have to believe. But you bet, that's very, very important. You have to be dedicated. And the other side of that is too, you have to believe. Coming down to Australia and racing at Sydney, at the new racetrack and up at Willowbank there, is probably, it's going to be a highlight, another highlight of this year. And to go back there to race with my team Kalitta, and to be able to do that in front of my Australian fans, family and friends, is, man, I'm telling you, I can't put that into words. It's always been like a dream on the back burner to be able to go back and do that. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. We're actually, our goal is to go down there and run quick. We actually have two goals. Our first goal is to go down there and put on a good show. We want these cars to run quick, and we want them to run consistently quick down the racetrack. The other thing is, we also want to win. We're very competitive here, and whenever we strap ourselves into a Top Fuel car, if there's another one in the other lane, we want to beat it. Now, we've even proved that amongst ourselves with my teammates, Doug and Scott. So, and believe me, we definitely want to go down there, run quick, consistently, and win.
Dave Grubnic is certainly keen to take no prisoners. However, he knows the challenges will be tough. He will even need to take on fellow American and NHRA teammate Scott Kalitta at Western Sydney come Boxing Day. The man the Americans call Aussie Dave will also not expect a laydown and die effort from the Australian chargers like the Pom, Steve Reed in the Santos Cranes entry, Leadfoot Luke Shepherd in a Santos sister car, Bob the quarter-mile Smile Shepherd in his trusty Gulf Western Oil Steed, the Queen of Speed Rochelle Splatt in an awesome AC Delco rocket ship, son of a gun Philip Reed piloting the Jim Reed-owned Auto 1 fueler, and Mr. Persistent Terry Sainty in the Gulf Western Oils All-Aussie 3-valve combo, and not forgetting current Australian Top Fuel champion Darren the Man Morgan in the Fast Fuchs Lubricants Nitro machine. One thing is for sure, they all speak of a huge enthusiasm for the task at hand, to take on the best in the world in a USA versus Australia Top Fuel showdown starting December 26 in Sydney and January 6 at Willowbank. Aussie Dave Grubnic and the awesome resources of Team Kalitta are set to turn Australian Top Fuel drag racing on its ear. Wonder what the Aussie drivers think about that.
Absolutely fabulous thing for sport, and I've met Dave Grubnic. Dave is an Aussie. Dave's a great guy, a very tall guy, so maybe this year I can be a giant killer or something, but he's a very tall, bloody nice guy. God, if these guys are world champion in drag racing, just to be in the same qualifying the same bracket with those guys that are meeting is a major plus, and that'll make a big place in my scrapbook, I can tell you, whether I beat them or lose to them. You know? It's just unbelievable to think we can be here on Boxing Day racing against America's best.
If it's not too hot, they can expect to see some really good numbers. I have no doubt that they will probably run into the mid to low 50s if they can get a handle on conditions. But if we have a 40-degree day, I think more realistically you'll be looking at 460 second passes, but they'll do it consistent. We're racing with probably year 2000 technology. They're racing with 2006 technology, like they've already updated their cars for next year. They will run over 300, and again, depending on conditions, it'll range between 310 and 330. Because they haven't run 90%, and the cars are set up to run on 90%, and that's when they were running 442s and things like that in America, so that should be good.
Last year was an honour to race with everybody, of course. To race with the best in this country was fantastic. But to have the Americans come here to try and beat up on us, that's got to be even better. They're coming to our backyard to play ball. This is cool. I believe we'll do the best the track will allow us to do on the day. And they've got a lot more data than us, but they want to make sure they've got everything right, because we'll beat them. Don't worry about that. Watch out, we're going to kick your ass.
Nitro methane fueled rocket ships. These beasts are hard to tame at the best of times. I wonder if any of the Aussie drivers have any bold predictions for Boxing Day.
Predictions? Let's call it a Christmas wish. If I could have a Christmas wish, there are 2 Gulf Western Oil Top Fuel motor cars. I reckon if I could have a Christmas wish, both in the final, and I beat Terry Sainty by about this much. In actual fact, Top Fuel, I have no idea. I don't think you can make a prediction in Top Fuel drag racing. I'd love it to be, I think, an American and an Australian, regardless of which American or which Australian. But to make a prediction Top Fuel, can't do it.
As I said, we ran consistent 490s. Unfortunately, Darren was running consistent 460s. But, Santo's car's the same. I mean, he ran a 470, albeit disqualified. He still ran the number. So, it's not only the Americans we're going to have to chase. You got the Lamatuners, Santo's team's always there, so it should be pretty competitive. The Kalitta cars are loud, and that's mainly due to Connie. Connie likes to make bulk horsepower, but Dave Grubnic's car in particular is even louder. They run a slightly different tune-up we've sort of picked up on, but yeah, they are a lot louder than those cars. Graham Cowan's car, although he's not running, is close to it, but yeah, no, they are a lot louder. Qualifying will be intense. I mean, 9 cars, somebody's going to miss out. And I have qualified last before with an 8-second pass when we've been having trouble. But we've hopefully cured all those problems. Somebody is going to miss out. You don't know who it's going to be. And as I say again, if the weather's hot, it could be anyone.
Theo's been studying his butt off trying to work out what to do. And if the track's real good at Boxing Day, it'll be a fast meeting for everyone.
Assessing their form so far this championship drag racing season, asking Australia's best Top Fuel drivers certainly provides some interesting answers.
Season so far has been real good, because I believe I'm probably the lowest budget racer. There are 9 Top Fuel cars, and I'm 3rd in the points score. Mate, my season's been great. We've tried a lot of new stuff because you've got to keep stepping up. And we had a really consistent motor car. We were running 5.0s, 5.1s, and that got us where we are. I gave my son permission, that's my crew chief, to buy a new supercharger, which he did, put it on, underestimated what it would do to the motor car, and the motor car went ballistic after that. So we've got a little bit backwards there. We threw that away and put the old clunker supercharger back on, and bingo, away she went again. So we're having a good season.
A little bit frustrating with all the problems we've been having, but it's been pretty good. We've had a few good numbers, and we were on a race meeting, but other than that, frustrating.
Well, the guys that tuned this car, Theo from Pavtech and John Marshall, they sat me down and said, get ready because it's going to be a ride. So they strapped me in, then strapped me in again, and it went down there and they were right. They said, just get it to the other end and it'll go quick. And they were right as well as they've been right all the way to the last meeting we're at. Every guy on there has done a magnificent job all year. We've just proven that. The car starts every time, gets reverse every time, goes fast every time. There's never a slip up. I love them all.
The past drag racing season has seen some amazing performances in Top Fuel. We have seen national records set and reset repeatedly. We witnessed the arrival of a second-generation driver, a son of an Australian drag racing legend in Phil Reed, and also a brand new Nitro powerhouse too, the Darren Morgan Lamatina Top Fuel team. From the moment they produced a 4-second licensing pass at Western Sydney International Dragway in 2004, it has been a rapid rise for the team from Mildura in Victoria ever since, and there is no hint of it stopping yet. Let's take a look back now on a history-making season of Top Fuel drag racing and the early form setters so far this season.
Second semi-final time right now, thanks to Orbital Traffic Management. Your Top Fuel action here from the AC Delco East Coast Nationals at the Western Sydney International Dragway. It brings together Pommy, Steve Reed and Darren Morgan in the Lamatina and Sons entry. The Lamatina team pretty well doing this out of their own back pocket. They are carrot producers in the Mildura region of Victoria. It's got Lamatina and Sons right down the side, but I'm pretty sure that they'd embrace any sponsorship that came their way, Dave.
Oh, certainly. This is an expensive game, Top Fuel, and everyone out here would certainly love a bit of support. Here comes Steve Reed and the Santos Cranes Top Fuel Dragstar. Not much of a burnout from him. These guys only just made it to the start line. They had a very big thrash between rounds, so let's hope that this car is A-OK. But Darren Morgan, he reckons he slowed it down.
Yeah, we got the car set up really, really gentle, so it's surprising. We're really happy. We haven't hurt no parts, so we're cruising.
Well, playing the percentages perhaps, Nate.
Well, it sounds quite strange that he slowed the car down and he's still running 4.9-second passes, but these things actually can make so much horsepower that sometimes you can really step on your own toes by trying to go a little bit too quick. So the guys have taken a pretty intelligent approach, backed the car off a little bit just to get it down the racetrack without burning up some parts.
So it's Pommy Steve Reed up against Darren Morgan, and Reed's got trouble, and Morgan is out of here. Look at that for a run.
Their first ever 300-mile-per-hour pass, a 486 with a 1, 303.91 miles an hour. A fantastic job from the Lamatina team. That is 1/100th of a second off their personal best. And amazingly enough, that was on Darren Morgan's license pass. That was a 485, but 303 miles per hour.
And how many high fives can you throw in a Tarago? That makes him now one of the, I guess there's only 5 people that have been to the 300 club.
Yeah, very few people to run 300s here in Australia. Have a look at this on the replay. Unfortunately, problems for the Santo team straight away off the start line. But Darren Morgan, the car's still dropping a few cylinders, but certainly a hell of a lot cleaner than it was in the first round of competition, and that's why it went so much quicker and faster. Congratulations, Darren.
Orbital Traffic Management now bringing you a unique final in many ways. How about this, Nate? Both these guys have never been winners of a Top Fuel event before. That is remarkable.
Yes, and it's the first time for Luke Shepherd in a final. And you mentioned about both guys never winning a final. Well, they've both been around for a very short amount of time. Luke Shepherd has been doing this for just on 12 months. And Darren Morgan is in his 3rd ever race meeting.
Well, Darren would have to go into this as favourite. Luke Shepherd has been, well, he didn't have to run through at all hard on his previous run, whereas Morgan went into the 300 club. You have to lean towards the Lamatina beast, but anything can happen, and it always does in drag racing. Will it be game over for Morgan? That's what Luke Shepherd's hoping.
Yes, the Shepherd family in general have been doing very well on Top Fuel of late. Of course, Bob Shepherd made it to the final at the Winter Nationals, and a big burnout from Darren.
Did you see one of the Shepherd boys, might have even been Mark Shepherd, give the signal to Luke, dump it, as he walked past him? That team has got to be riding on the moon at the moment.
Oh, Mark Shepherd is, well, I think it's just a basic Shepherd trait. It's called enthusiasm. These guys do everything out of their back pocket. They have some great support from Gulf Western Oils, but they really are a bucks-down operation and pretty much race beyond their means at some time, so they really would be buoyed by this performance to be in the final.
Well, this would be really a Cinderella story if Luke Shepherd could take it out. I mean, everybody's expecting the Lamatinas to clean house here, and, well, why wouldn't you? But what a feeling that would be for this backyard operation. And I say that with respect, this Gulf Western Oil Shepherd team.
Yes, the Lamatina car. This is the X2001 NHRA Drag Racing Top Fuel Champion car. It's got the best of the best, big horsepower. And as we heard from Darren Morgan earlier, they've actually slowed it down and it's still running 480s at 300 mile an hour. Luke Shepherd probably doesn't have as late model equipment on that car, but it still is a 5.0, possibly 490 capable car. If they can get it right this afternoon, they can easily get the win.
Shepherd v Morgan in the final for Orbital Traffic Management. This could be a beauty here at Western Sydney, the AC Delco East Coast Nationals Top Fuel Final.
Both cars heading into stage. You can see pre-stage is on. Have a look at the top of the Christmas tree, the starting lights. They're both into stage. It is a Lamatina fairy tale, 3 race meetings, and they have got their first win. Darren Morgan stops the clocks with a 497, 298 miles an hour. Boy, it took them long enough.
Yes, yes. Hurry up, Fate. Look at that. A great result. The team will be absolutely stoked. Bad luck for Luke Shepherd, but they're still going to be pumped. They're still going to tell the world we made it to the final at Western Sydney, and why wouldn't they? It was pretty even out of the blocks, and then the Lamatina thing just took off.
Luke Shepherd with a slight advantage off the start line, but the car lost another supercharger belt, and unfortunately, it was all over for them, but well done, Darren Morgan and the Lamatina family.
Well, if you're psyched before, Darren, you've got to be off the planet now.
That's got to be awesome, doesn't it? How much fun's that? Get us a sponsor, we'll show you quick.
Talk us through the run.
Good on you, dude.
Good luck, mate.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Great run.
I don't know, the boys said, hang on, if it smokes the tyres, get on the brake, man. I was waiting for it to start smoking, but she went on down there, we're happy. The engine's okay, the bits are okay, we're hurt nothing, we had a grouse weekend.
Stay tuned. After the break, we got more highlights from the 2004-2005 Top Fuel season.